Hello, my name is Sidney Sanni and welcome to my Publishing 100 series. I'm doing this series as an introduction to my main podcast, the Publishing Brain podcast. In this introduction, I'm going to take you from 101 to 105. Now, the first one, I'm going to be telling you and sharing with you why you should publish. The question of why you should publish. So sit back, relax, get something to write on, and then I'm going to really dive into the reasons why you should consider publishing a book. The first reason why you should consider publishing a book is, number one, for the sake of credibility. There is something about writing your book and actually publishing your book that makes you more believable, especially because there are a lot of voices in the world out there. There are so many channels of content. But when you take the time and you actually take the pain of writing down your expertise and sharing what you know in a book, it makes you believable. People tend to take you more seriously. Have you noticed that in a lot of TV shows and in a lot of radio shows, you get panelists, and many of them are authors, many of them are authorities in their area of expertise, probably written books or, being involved in some sort of journal or sort of write-up. So writing your thought, writing your book and capturing your expertise within text gives you that kind of credibility. It gives you a sort of a head above your peers. So it's very important that you understand that take the time, take the pain, and just put down your expertise, capture your expertise within a book. You are experienced, you've been years in your profession, you've helped a lot of people. One of the ways to really maximize what you know is to put it in a book, and that's credibility. Now, the second reason is that of authority. The word author comes from the word authority. So an author is an authority in his subject. So you are seen as an expert, you are seen as the go-to person within your field because you've taken the time to prove it. You have proven that you have expertise. You have proven that you have the kind of knowledge that people should really take attention or pay attention to. So number one is credibility. Number two is authority. And a book makes you an authority, makes you an expert. And that goes a long way because, like I said earlier, there are many voices in the marketplace. So one of the ways to distinguish yourself is to, first of all, put your thoughts, put your expertise within a book, and then you can begin to be seen as an authority in your area, and you will get a lot of attention if you know how to leverage your knowledge and leverage what you know within a book. For example, I have clients who, because of their book, because of the fact that they've taken the pains, they've taken the time, and they've taken, they've focused on getting their book published, they've been invited. I know a client of mine who has traveled abroad several times because she has, written. Now, she's written 2 books now. She's on the 3rd one. Because of that, she's been invited on international seminars or, symposiums and panelists. And she has that authority because she has taken the time. She has really researched. She has written her thoughts down in books. And that has been recognized by experts like herself. And so she's now looked on as an authority. She's looked on as an expert. And that has a long way to, it goes a long way to put you ahead of your peers in this day and age where there are many voices. So that authority is very important. And that's the second reason for writing a book. The third reason why you should publish a book is impact. Do you know that with a book, starting from a book, you can reach more people with your message? You can reach people around the world who you don't even know. You don't even know their names. You have never seen their faces. Do you know that your message, your expertise can go around the world just because of a book? I mean, most of the writers I have read, most of them I have never seen them. In fact, many of them are dead. But because they've taken that time to actually put their knowledge in a book, even after they are long gone, they are still making impact. Now, apart from that, there are other places to actually spread your message. We have, like I'm doing now, podcasts. You can put your book into and turn it into a course. You can actually turn the contents of your book into coaching or consulting. There are many ways of making an impact. So if you really want to make an impact beyond yourself, if you really want to touch the world, or you really want to change the world, you really need to consider writing a book. Because if you want to make a difference, if you want to really put your mark on the sands of time, you've got to put what you know within a book so that somebody else might be able to access your knowledge and, go on and change their lives. I remember one of the first books of motivation I ever read was by Norman Vincent Peale, called The Power of Positive Thinking. Now, I was a teenager when I read that book, but guess what? That book has made an indelible impact on my life. I still remember that book. Didn't know much that time. I was a young boy, a teenager, but that book made such a deep impression on me. And I'm sure that book is one of the reasons why I'm into personal development today. In fact, I have, that impression of being able to help people. And that book also gave me hope. It also gave me hope that I could make a difference. It also gave me hope that I am somebody and that I have potentials within me that needs to be released. So if you are thinking of making an impact, if you are really, really thinking of making a difference, you should get your book and get your thoughts and your expertise written in a book, because it is one of the major ways. I mean, look at a book like the Bible. Look at other books that you have come across, ancient books that you have come across. Now, imagine if the author never took the time or took the focus to pen down his thoughts and his imagination or his expertise or his experience or her experience. How would you know today what was happening in the ancient world? How would you have access to thoughts? How would you have access to ideas? So think of impact. Think of tomorrow. Think of making a difference in your environment, in your society. Think of changing someone's life. Take that expertise, put it in a book, put it in written form, and from that book alone, you can begin to repurpose that content and begin to turn it into various ways of changing people's lives and making a difference and making an impact and changing someone's perspective and changing someone's thought about how they feel or think about themselves. And you never know, you can spark a fire in somebody that will cause an invention or a new way of doing things, and that will eventually change the world. But you've got to believe in yourself enough to know that what you know is so valuable that you've got to put it in a book. The last point I'm going to mention today is that of income. So the first point is credibility. The second point is authority. The third point is impact. And the last point I will make today is that of income. Now, if you notice, the first one, credibility, authority, and impact, credibility number one, authority number two, and impact number three, have a direct link on the fourth one, which is income. Now, when you have credibility, when you have authority, and you're making an impact, your income will be directly affected. So those things will actually affect your income. How will that happen? Now, it's easier when you have a book, it's easier to actually charge your client at least you need to charge your client what is reasonable, what you feel that what you feel that you are worth. You are able to negotiate. That's the word I'm looking for. You are able to negotiate a better rate because you've already proven your expertise. So when you are negotiating with your client, you have a better room to wiggle in. You have better room to actually put a case forward for the kind of price you are charging because you have proven it. You have proven that you are an expert in what you do anyway. So when you are actually negotiating your fees, no matter what, you can keep pointing to what you have done. And this has happened to me recently. It happens to me all the time. One of the reasons why my client came back to me is because apart from the fact that I'm also an author myself, also because I've been able to strike credibility because I helped her with her first book. And guess what? She got some very good feedback from that first book. And she came back 3 years later or 4 years later, thereabout, and said, please, Sidney, I need you to help me with my second book. And I want you to help me with my third book. And right now, some of the things I'm doing with my team actually has to do with the project of this, my client. So it actually impacts on your income. All of the first three, credibility, authority, and impact, actually has a direct effect on the kind of income that can come to you. Why? Because you have made a case for yourself. You don't need to sell yourself much. You can negotiate better. You can get the choice clients, serious clients who take you seriously will be attracted to you. Now, some clients are not serious. They want to get something for nothing or almost nothing. But when you have that book in your hand and you send them a copy free of charge, they will be able to see what you've done. And this has happened to me time and time again. And I can't overemphasize this. I always tell my clients, think of this very first step of writing your book. That is the beginning of great things to come. So don't forget the 4 points: credibility, authority, impact, and income. I'm sure you really got some very good information that will make you think of the reason why you need to really get started on writing and publishing your book. In the second podcast, which is 102, I'm going to show you some secrets and really dive into how to get started. So how do you really get started in publishing and writing? So make sure you go to the second podcast, 102, where I'm going to teach you how to get started.